The recording has started.
Knocking. Please. All right. All right. Good evening. I hope we are all fine. And sorry for the. Okay, no, it's not really needed. Yeah, Nehemiah here again. If you've not liked and subscribed to this channel, kindly do that before we continue. Today we are going to move very fast because there's a whole lot ahead of us. I paused some more because I was having some papers I needed to focus on. So I was trying my possible best to get a good grades on them. But exams exams doesn't care whether you are prepared or you are not prepared. Fever will catch you. Yeah. Some people were like, "I be you there, you be me. I've been learning. Stay there. You see me at the club. You see that me. Yes, I club too. But so yeah, enjoyment. You learn some more. Then what I say. Yeah. So today, quickly, we'll be talking. We are coming to solve managerial tutorial set 4, and I will try and see if I can solve 5 to today. And then, yeah, it is a very long question, very long question. But let's see, like very long questions, like up to question 8 or so. But I'll try my possible best and see how I can minimize the time to do this. All right. So let me quickly open the tutorial set. So, all right. So our tutorial set today will be on game theory and pricing strategy. Yeah, that's tutorial set 4. After that, we read tutorial set 5, which covers the Stackelberg, Kono, and the likes. All right. So, all right. So, we start. All right. So, question 1 here. Okay, so it's from question 1 up to question 8. All right. But yeah, for question 7 and 8, I will do that one. Question 6, I will. But question 5, I won't, because it's just an application of knowledge here for question 4. So if we are able to solve question 4, you should be able to solve question 5. Yes, and I will also explain or touch a bit of it before. So now let's start. All right. So question 1 says we should identify and briefly explain the elements of a game, right? And in our previous session on game theory, we spoke about elements of a game, which is the elements of a game. The elements of a game are the players, the strategy, and then the payoffs. Where the players are the firms or individual that makes decisions, right? They are the people that plays the game, right? And then the strategies are the planned decisions of the players, right? The decisions that the players want to take are the strategies, right? So, and then the payoffs are the profits or loss that comes up as a result of the strategies that they are playing, right? So the elements are: 1, we have the players; 2, we have the strategy; and then 3, we have the payoffs. I won't be really writing plenty to do unless the calculations, because whatever I'll be saying is the same thing I'll be putting down, and it will be wasting time. So these are the elements of a game, right? So these are the. All right. So this is for question 1. So we are done. We are done with question 1. All right. So moving on to question 2. I've explained it. The players are the individuals or the firm that plays the game. The strategy are the decisions or the planned decisions that the players take. And then the payoffs are the profit or loss or the result or the end product that the players get as a result of their strategy they've implemented. Right. So that's it for question 1. Let's go to question 2 fast. All right. So question 2. Question 2 here is where we are coming to apply the real game theory. All right. So question 2 here. Vodafone and Airtel Tigo are engaged in a battle to win customers from a saturated market of mobile users. Historically, they both know that intensive let me check whether I'm recording. Okay, I'm recording. Mic is on. Okay, I'm coming soon. They both know that last time I recorded everything and I realized that my microphone was off throughout. Wow, I nearly cried. So historically, they both know that intensive advertising can help them win customers from other operators, even though advertising is expensive. So each firm has to decide whether to choose high level of advertisement or low level of advertisement. If both firms chooses high level of advertisement, the advertisement campaigns will simply offset each other, and each firm will earn 6 million Ghana cedis each, right? If both firms choose a low level advertisement, each 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 earns a profit of 14 million. If one firm chooses high level advertisement other firm choose a low level of advertisement, the firm that chooses high level of advertisement gets 20 million, and the firm with low gets a profit of 3 million, right? And then A, describe the game in a normal form. And then B, describe does either firm have a dominant strategy? If so, what is this strategy? And then 3, identify all the pure strategy, which is the Nash equilibrium for this game. And then D, if Vodafone and Airtel to go play this game infinitely, how many times at an interest rate of 12% can the cooperative outcome that gives each firm a profit of 40 million be sustained? All right, so let's go on our board. Right. All right, so question 2. So to bring this to a normal game form, right? A normal game, you have to first bring the elements. So the elements are the players, the strategy, and then the payoffs, right? So now let's define them. The players are Vodafone and Airtel Tigo. And Airtel Tigo. So basically, game theory is being used almost everywhere, right? It is more or less like anticipating what one player will do when you think that you do this, right? So basically, sometimes too, when we are approaching exams, right, we also think that, okay, let me read this topic because maybe the lecturer will bring this topic. But once you are reading, you will also be thinking that, no, maybe the lecturer will think that I would think he will bring this topic, so he's also going to bring another topic. Then, okay, let me go and read another topic. No, maybe the lecture will change. So that's how the game theory is. What you'll be thinking of, you'll be thinking you'll be doing, the other opponent too will try and then do the same thing. That's the basics of the game theory, right? So now, the players are Vodafone and then Airtel Tigo. Then the strategies. The strategies. The strategies are either high advertisement, let me represent it by each, and then low advertisement. Then represented by L. All right. So now the payoffs. Right. We can choose to play high, and then there is the distance. So now in the question, these are the these are the strategies that they were playing. So their payoffs will come. So they can either play high advertisement each, or low advertisement each, or high advertisement while the other plays low, or low when other plays high. So let's present them. I'm coming. Let me check. So in the question, when all right. So if both firms choose high level of advertisement, they both earn 6 million each. So high level 6 million each, and then if both firms choose a low level of advertisement, each of them earn 14 million each. So 14. Then if one firm chooses high and the other chooses low, the firm that chooses high is to gets 20 million, and the one that chooses low gets 3 million profit. So when we see high and low, high will get 20, low will get 3. Then here 3, 20, according to what they say. Right. So they are telling us. So now this is the normal form. Now let's put them in the game form. It is still the same thing. So in the game form, we will draw. We have Airtel to go here. Let me represent it by 80. And then we can have border here. Then all right. So let me clone this. Border this side 80 here. Right. The strategies. Strategies. So we have high and low advertising. So high, low, high, low. All right. Or wait, let me try and then change this so that it will to be legible for everyone. Let me use red for Airtel to go. Okay. Or red for border. Okay, let me use red for border. So high, low, and then yep. All right. So now when they both play high and both choose to advertise highly, they both earn 6 million each, right? So Voda will earn 6, and then Tigo will earn 6. Right? When they both choose low, right? Voda will earn 14, and then Airtel Tigo will earn 14. Right? But when Airtel Tigo chooses, when one chooses high and the other chooses low, it's 20 and 3 million respectively. So high for Airtel to go here, high for Airtel to go here, low for Vodafone here. So we are going to get 3 for Vodafone, and then 20 for Tigo. And then here, 20 for Vodafone. Oh, sorry. Right. All right. So before we move on, let me try. Okay. Okay, wait. Let me not explain. So now, this is the answer for the first part of the game form. This is the answer for the game form. You do all this and get your marks, right? Okay. So now, let's read the next part. Does either firm have a dominant strategy? All right. So in the previous session, we spoke about dominant strategy. Which a dominant strategy is a strategy when it's with which results in the highest payoff, regardless of what the opponent's action is. So basically, what it means is that the highest payoff that one firm will make, irrespective of what or irrespective of the strategy that the other firm implements. So if you want to check on dominant strategy, right? If A is trying to make a move, you are trying to only think about what B will be making, right? So, for example, let's check this now, right? So, let's say Ethel Tigo decides to choose high, right? Ethel Tigo decides to choose high, right? Choosing high here means it is in this column, right? The H column is this column. Okay, this column. So in this column, we can see that Vodafone has the chance to either choose high or choose low, right? So we are going to check the high and low, the highest profit for Vodafone. Then we choose that one, right? Then if Ethel Tigo decides to choose low here, Vodafone has the chance to either choose high or low. So we check between Vodafone's profit high and low and see which one is high. Then we select that one. All right, so let me go back. All right, so looking at here, if Ethel Tigo decides to choose high, right, then Vodafone has the chance to choose high and low. Which one makes the biggest profit here? It is high. We circle. Normally you keep that one in head, but for it to become simple, me I circle it. Even in exams, I will circle. Right now, if Ethel Tigo decides to choose low advertisement, Vodafone has the chance to either choose high or low. And high or low advertisement here, which one is bringing the biggest profit? It's high. Let's cycle that one. Right now, we are done for Vodafone moves if Ethel Tigo decide to choose high or low. So now let's come to Vodafone move if let's come to Ethel Tigo move if Vodafone decides to choose any one of these, right? So now if sorry, if Vodafone decides to choose high, remember Ethel Tigo has the chance to either choose high or low here. So we are now moving here horizontally. In the first one, we move vertically, but now we are moving horizontally, right? So now, if Vodafone decides to play high advertisement, Ethel Tigo also have this thing to choose either high or low horizontally. And if if Vodafone decides to choose low, Ethel Tigo also have the chance to either choose horizontally high or low here, right? So we are going to do the same thing. The time is going too fast. Time is going too fast. So now, let's watch it now. So, so now, if Ethel Tigo if Vodafone decides to choose high, right? Now, Ethel to go has the chance to either choose high or low. Checking here, which one gives the highest? Is the high here? Because this one gives higher than this, right? It gives higher. This 6 gives higher than this 3, right? So we choose the 6. Then now, if Vodafone decides to choose low, right, Ethel Tigo has a chance to either choose high or low. Checking the two, clearly, high is still here, right? So now, let's check whether they have dominant strategy. So dominant strategy, as we said, is a strategy that if one firm chooses, gives the firm the highest payoff, regardless of what the other firm chooses as a strategy, right? So we can see that Vodafone has a dominant strategy being high, because if checking if Ethel to go play high or low, when Vodafone chooses high, right, it makes the highest profit as compared to the low here, right? The same thing happens to be on the side of Vodafone, right? So if Vodafone chooses, if Ethel to go decides to choose high, Vodafone chooses high because his high. Sorry, if Vodafone if Vodafone decides to choose high, right? Ethel to go chooses high because its high is bigger. It's the profit when it chooses high is bigger than the profit when it chooses low. And if also Vodafone decides to choose low, the profit Ethel to go chooses is still high because it's higher. The profit there is higher than choosing low, right? So both firms. So the answer to this is that. So the answer to this is that B. The answer to this is that yes, both firms has a dominant strategy. Yes, both firms have a dominant strategy. I want to write. Yes, both firms has a dominant strategy. And the explanation to this is that they all have a dominant strategy because choosing high level of advertisement gives them the highest payoffs, regardless of what their opponents do, or regardless of the strategy their opponents implement, right? Yes. So now we are done with that one. We are done with B. We are done with B. So the strategy here for both of this thing is to choose high level of advertisement. So high level of advertisement each for the firms is the dominant strategy, right? So now let's move to C. C, identify the pure strategy, Nash equilibrium for this game. So now let's talk about Nash equilibrium. So Nash equilibrium occurs where best responses meet. Keep this in mind. Nash equilibrium occurs where best responses meet, right? So where best responses meet, that's where we term as Nash equilibrium. So looking at this, looking at here, right? Looking at here, the Nash equilibrium for this is high, because that's where two best responses meet. So you can see where I've circled these two is where we term as the Nash equilibrium or the pure solution, right? The pure solution is also known as the Nash equilibrium, right? So, or the pure strategy is still the same, right? So where two best responses or where best responses meet is termed as the Nash equilibrium, right? So now, so C was identify the pure. So the Nash equilibrium for this game So the Nash equilibrium for this game, so just write it as the Nash equilibrium for this game is to play high advertisement. Is to play high advertisement for both firms. This is where two best responses meet, right? So I don't want to write everything. It will take time. So let's move to C. It's D. So where both of that's high. So it's where best responses meet. All right. So D. D is asking us of if Vodafone and Airtel Tigo plays this game infinitely many times at an interest rate of 12%, can the cooperative outcome give each firm a profit of 14 million be sustained? So now they've even told us the cooperative business, but normally the cooperative profit, or sometimes the cooperative strategy, is when both firms come together. That, for example, they know that when they advertise here, it will take part of their profit, it will take part of their money, right? So they can come together and be like, since maybe there are only two people in the market, they can come together and be like, no, let's not advertise and make this particular amount of profit, right? So now you can see here, if Airtel Tigo choose not to advertise and Vodafone also choose not to advertise, they are all making a profit of what? 14 million each, which is greater than 6 million each here, right? So here becomes the corporation price, or the corporation profit, sorry, the corporation profit or the collusive profit or the optimal profit, right? So keep this. Sometimes it's called cooperative profit, sometimes it's called collusive profit, sometimes it's called optimal profit. Keep that in mind. So now let's solve for D. So what we are going to do now is, you see, if so, you see, if they decide to come together and then charge this price, this is what they are going to earn: 14 million each, right? So sometimes there can be a room for cheating. A room for cheating will come in only when one firm thinks that when he cheats, will be making more profit than when they collude, right? So remember the principles of an effective management before we started managerial economics. When we started managerial economics, the last principle was that the manager should take into consideration the time value of money. So this is where we are going to implement that. We are going to implement the time value of money of the profit when when one firm decides to cheat or one firm decides to cooperate. So you check the profit. If the profit when he cheats is bigger than the profit when he collude, then there is a high possibility that he is going to cheat. But if the profit when he collude is greater than the profit when he cheats, right, it is unlikely that he's going to cheat. All right, so let's move to that. So now, to do that, you have to check for the profits when they cooperate, right? So they said the interest rate, the formula for this is going to be EV, the present value of the cash flow, then we grow it by 1 year, so 1 plus R This is where we bring our perpetuity in. So all over R. Right. So now this is for cooperation. PV what is happening to mine? So now this is for PV. All right, so wait, that's the formula. So now let me go down. Wow. It's moving too fast. If you are 30 minutes, can maybe a question back and forth. So PV, when they cooperate, let's check the profit. Cooperate. When they cooperate, they are going to make 14 million each year. So 14, and then let's go with 1 plus a 12%, 0.12 all over 0.1. So when we do this, we are going to get 130.67 million. Right? That's when they cooperate. This is the profit they are going to make because it's infinite. So we bring in perpetuity. That's why we have this formula. Right? So that's the profit each firm is going to make. But when one firm decides to deviate, so present value of either not cooperating or deviating, so one of them, what they are going to do is, so no, okay, so deviate for that one is going to be the normal profit, the profit at the optimal profit, profit plus giving of the rest of the money that you'll be making, 1 plus half all over half. Right. So meaning that when he decides to deviate, right, and another firm when he decides to deviate, the other firm to try its possible best to do what to also change, right, and then everything will change back. So what we are going to do here is that now they are all making a profit of 40 million each, right? If this one, if let's say one firm decides to cheat, right? Let's say Vodafone sees that when he perform high advertisement, uh, he will be getting 20, so he's moving on to 20, right? He's moving on to 20. Since he wants to move on to 20, then Airtel to go to move back to 20, right? Airtel to go to move back to 20. So now let's look at this. So when Airtel to go move back to 20, then they are all now going to get what 66 million now, right? Because now they will all be playing high, right? So now what is going to be now is initially they were cooperating, so they were having 14, and then now one decides to cheat, so things will change from 14 to 6 now, and we go with 1 plus the 12%, 0.12 all over 0.12. For this, we are going to get 7 million. Um, all right. Back, back. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I made some mistake here. Let me finish with this. And then you this. So, that's why I was like, what's going on? So, um, now when when they decide to collude or cooperate, it all ends 14-14. Once this one decides to shift to here, then this one will end instantly 20, right? Instant because if he or she shifting from 14 to here, then yeah, he or she will get in 20. For the rest of his life, he's going to get 6 million. That's what it means here. So I'm supposed to bring 20 and say to be 20. So with that one, let me recalculate again. Recalculate again. So it's 20 plus 72 levels. 0.72. So it's 76. So now what we are going to do now is going to compare the profit of when they cooperate and then the profit of when one cheat. So looking at here, cooperate is equal to 130.67, and then cheat is equal to 76, right? So what we just did was that brought all the future cash flows to the present tense. And that's why we are seeing equality. So within if we now realize this, uh, cooperation is 130 million, and then cheat is 76 million. You will you cooperate or you cheat? You see? But if cheat rather change from 130, if cheat was 130 and the cooperation was 76, then it is likely that they will cheat. But since cooperation is higher than cheat, then they will not have any room to cheat, right? So that's it here. And as I made mention, you keep this. Initially, when they cooperate, this is they are going to get 14, right? But if one person decides to cheat to, let's say, 20, then it means that next time or in previous times, the other ones will match to the person. So it be like 6 each. So initially it was low. Now one person decided to choose high. So the other person to choose high. When another person choose high, they will come to 6. That's why we had the 6 down here. Yeah. So the 6 will now be perpetuated. Alright. So this is for, so now the question was that will cooperation be sustained? What we are going to say is that yes, cooperation will be sustained. Yes, cooperation will be sustained. Yes, this is because cooperation brings higher return than not cooperating or than deviating. Firms will not deviate from cooperating. Thus, cooperation will be sustained. Right. So that's what we are going to write. So let's move to question 3 now. So question 3. It's also like the application of question 2, right? So let's do this again, and then it's the same thing, but let me do it. So question 3. Now let's briefly. So let me read. Suppose Benz and BMW must decide whether to make new breed of side impact airbags standard equipment on all models. Side impact airbags raise the price of each automobile by $2,000. If both make side impact airbags that equipment, each company will earn profit of 300 million. If neither company adopts the side impact airbag, each company will earn 100 million due to the loss to other automakers. If one company adopts technology standard equipment, then the other do not. The adopting one will earn 500, and the other company would lose 150 million. If you were a decision maker at BMW, would you make impact? Would you make side impact as standard equipment? Explain. What if you were a decision maker? So basically, what they are trying to ask is that do they have dominant strategy? If let's say BMW is having a dominant strategy, then he's going to make the uh, the airbag. If uh, BMW is not having, then he will not do. So let's present in the game. So sorry, players are Benz and then BMW. Then strategies are whether they should make side impact. make side impact or not make side impact. And then the payoffs. Payoffs are either make, so represent the side impact by X, S, S, and this one by DS. Don't make sense. So now it can be either S, S, D, DS, DS, or S and then DS, or DS and then S. Right. So now, so that if both of them are making this thing, they all earn 100 million each. So 300 million. And then if both of them don't want to do it or they don't do it, they earn 100. And then if one person does it and the other doesn't, one who does it will get 500. Then one who doesn't will lose 150. Negative 150. Now this one's negative 150, 500. All right. So let's represent it in the game form here. BMW, Benz, right, strategy. And then we have S, B, S, S, B, S. S, S is 300, 300. Here too, and now this one that should use different colors here. Use different colors so that it doesn't confuse. Okay. Okay. So now let's check whether there is a dominant strategy. All right. So on the perspective of Benz, right? Okay. Now let's check on the perspective of BMW. If Benz chooses to make the side impact airbag, right? BMW can choose between this and then this. right? So BMW can choose between 300 and then 150 if they decide, if Benz decides to. So you can see that the 300 is bigger. So you choose that one. And then now if Benz decide to now do that, like not to do the side impacts, we are seeing that there's 500 and then there's 100. So the 500 is bigger, so we choose that one. Now, on the perspective of Benz, if BMW decides to choose making the side impact S, right? BMW has a Benz have this thing to choose between 300 and 150. So it will choose 300. And then when BMW decides to not to do the side impact, can choose between the 100 and then sorry, 100 and then 500, and then BMW Benz is going to choose 500, right? So you see, there's a dominant strategy here and there's a Nash equilibrium here. So the dominant strategy here is 300, 300, which is making side impact airbag. So if you were a decision maker for BMW, would you make side impact airbag? So yes. Yes, I will make side impact airbag because making side impact airbag gives me the highest profit, irrespective of the decisions my opponents make, right? So write that one. That's making side impact airbag gives the firm BMW the highest profit or the highest payoff, irrespective of the action the other firm takes. And then also we are also going to take we are also going to make the side impact airbag also in BMW. We are going to make it for both of them. This is because they all have a dominant strategy. Because dominant strategy here for Benz is to choose making side impact irrespective, right? And then the dominant strategy for BMW is to also make side impacts about 300, 500. So it's all under side impact. So you see, since it is here, and this one is here, right? It is a dominant strategy. So both of them are going to make side impacts ever because that gives them the highest payoff, irrespective of what the other firms do or irrespective of the decisions the other firms make. And so that is it for that one. So let's go to question 4. This is where maybe it will take most of our time, but we'll finish right now. Right, so let's go to question 4. So question 4. Suppose MTN and Vodafone must decide whether to advertise their products to maximize profit. If both MTN and Vodafone decide to advertise, each firm will earn 30 million due to high cost of advertising. If neither firm decides to advertise, each firm will earn 50 million. If one firm adopts the method of advertisement and the other firm does not, the adopting firm will earn a profit of 60 million and the one who doesn't will earn a profit of 60 million, 20 million. Represent this information in a normal form game. Does either firm have a dominant strategy? Does each firm have a dominated strategy? If so, what is it? If you were a decision maker at Vodafone, would you adopt the method of advertisement? Explain your answer. What if you were a decision maker at MTN? Determine the solution of the game. Is the solution of the game Nash equilibrium? Is the solution of the game suboptimal? Is the game an example of a classic business dilemma? What strategies do you think each firm will adopt if a collusion is possible? All right. So question 4. Let's do this fast. So let's present this in the normal form. Right. Players includes MTN and then Vodafone. Right. And then the strategies. Strategies include advertisements, which I will indicate it is A. Then not advertisements. No ad. I will choose it and the payoffs. It can either be advert speech or not advert, or advert and not advert, or yes. So they told us here that if both firms advertise, each will earn a profit of 30 million each. So 30 million. And then if both doesn't advertise, each firm will earn 15 million. And if the firm advertise, the firm will get this 60, yes, 60. The other one will get 20. The vice versa here. 20, 60. Now let's put it in the same form. We have Voda, we have MCN. Then how much on MCU? MCN. So strategy. So we have advertise, not advertise, advertise, not advertise. When they both advertise, they are also in fact columns in the way. Let me use word for both. When they both advertise, Vodafone is going to get 30. And if they don't, Vodafone is going to get 50. Here is going to be 20. 60. 50, 60, 60, and then 20. Now let's check whether, okay, so now we've done A, we've represented it in a game form. That is A. Now B. Does either firm have a dominant strategy? Let's check whether either firm has a dominant strategy. Yes. All right. So now checking for the dominant strategy. So in the perspective of Vodafone, right? If MTN decides to choose advertisements, right? Vodafone has the destiny to choose between advertise and not to advertise, right? If Vodafone chooses to advertise, Vodafone will get 30. If Vodafone chooses not to advertise, Vodafone will get 20. So Vodafone is going to advertise and then get 30. I'm using the colors so that it will be easy for you to understand. And if Vodafone chooses not to advertise, it's 20. So now we choose the highest on that. If MTN chooses not to advertise, Vodafone gets. So the thing is that it's simple in the sense that if MTN chooses to do this, don't look at what MTN is doing. No. Look at what Vodafone is doing. If Vodafone chooses to do something, don't look at what Vodafone is doing. Look at what MTN is doing. That is it. So now MTN chooses not to advertise. Vodafone has the chance to choose advertisement and not to advertise. If Vodafone chooses to advertise 60, chooses not to advertise 50, so Vodafone will advertise. Make profit. So we can see that they are all in one column, meaning that Vodafone's dominant strategy is to advertise, right? So keep this. One secret is that if they are all in one column for one of them, but if it comes to MTN, it's supposed to be in one row. That is when it is going to be a dominant strategy. So now this is this. So now let's now come on the side of MTN. When Vodafone chooses to play advertisement, right? MTN has to choose between advertise and not to advertise, right? If MTN chooses to advertise 30 and when not to advertise 20, so clearly we advertise. And when Vodafone chooses not to advertise, MTN has the chance to choose between advertise and not to advertise, right? So the two is you are going to select the highest here again. Right. Clearly, you know this is Nash equilibrium, right? Where two best responses meet, right? This is the Nash equilibrium. This is the optimal. This is the optimal. This is when they collude, right? So let's move on. You see, say this is so easy. It's very, very easy. It is very, very easy. So now the B was asking, does either firm have a dominant strategy? Yes, they have. They have. So now you go further and then explain that. Yes, each firm has a dominant strategy, which is to advertise. This is because advertising gives them the highest payoff, irrespective of the actions of the other firm, right? Or you can also say that MTN has a dominant strategy because choosing high advertisement gives him the highest payoff, irrespective of what Vodafone does. When you are done and you come down, Vodafone also has a high advertisement. It has a dominant strategy because choosing high advertisement gives Vodafone the highest payoff or the highest profit, irrespective of what MTN does. Simple. Then you move on. So let's go to see Does each firm have a dominated strategy? If so, explain. Right. So dominance, we have dominant strategy, we have dominated strategy. So dominated strategy is basically a strategy that performs low, that doesn't really perform well, right? So yes, they have a dominated strategy. Dominated, remember it is test, dominated strategy. So the dominated strategy here is to choose low advertisement, right? Check in here. Check in here. So when they choose no advertisements, right? When where is it? When MTN decides to choose no advertisements, right? 30 is bigger than this 20, and then 50, 50 is still bigger than this one. So it makes the no advertisement was the dominated strategy. It has like you dominate, you didn't something like that. And then Vodafone to the same thing, right? So we can where is it? So what we can do is we can compare both profits when it is advertising and when it is not advertising. So for example, we can pick for MTN, right? MTN and then check. So if MTN doesn't advertise, what you'll be getting is 20 when Vodafone advertises, right? And when MTN chooses still not to advertise, when Vodafone doesn't advertise, MTN will be getting 50, right? And then now if MTN chooses to advertise, right, MTN will be getting 30 for the first one and then 60 for the second one. So when you compare, you can see that this is bigger than when advertising is bigger than not advertising. So there's more profit here, which is 90 here, and then 70 here, right? So meaning that the dominated strategy is not to advertise because that gives the lowest profit. It gives the lowest profit. It gives the lowest profit. So let's move on. Wow, 1 hour clock. All right, so the next one is D. If you're a decision maker at Vodafone, would you adopt a method of advertisement? Explain your answer. And if you were a decision maker at MTN, will you also? So basically, like what we did for the BMW, since they have a dominant strategy, both of them is going to what advertise, right? So you write that and then you put your small explanation, right? Since Vodafone has a dominant strategy, is going to advertise, or I'm going to advise Vodafone to advertise, and then you are done. Then you come to, since MTN also have a dominant strategy, if I were the decision maker, I would advise them to what advertise, right? So now they are telling us to determine the solution of the game. The solution of the game is basically the Nash equilibrium. Solution of the game is basically where two best responses meet, right? And I've said it here that the two best responses meet where AA, where both of them are advertising. That's where the two best responses meet. So the solution to the game is to advertise. The solution to the game is to advertise. Advertise. So now E, they are asking you A, A, B, C, D, E. They're asking you determine. Okay, we just solve for E. All right, sorry. It's E. Okay, so meaning that we're not the side. Okay. So now D, A. Then I'm A. We need to man. Sanya equilibrium and kasa de do. This F. Sanya shankasa na. So is the solution to this game a Nash equilibrium? Yes, because when two best responses meet at that side, you get it. It's a Nash equilibrium. So yes, it is a Nash equilibrium. Oh, maybe but if I'm a yes. Yes, it is a Nash equilibrium because it's a Nash equilibrium. Because that's where two best responses meet. That's all. We go to E, F, G, H. E, F, G. So, is the solution to the game suboptimal? All right. So, is the solution to the game suboptimal? Yes, the solution to the game is optimal. This is because the Nash equilibrium is less than the optimal. Here is the pollution. Pollution is the optimal distance. Pollution is the optimal distance. Pollution is the optimal distance. And then so here is optimal. Right. Since here is optimal, and checking the solution, the distance here and here will give us 100, and here is going to give us 60. And you add them. So since the Nash equilibrium is bigger, it's lesser than the optimal, then we are saying that the solution to the game is what is suboptimal because the Nash equilibrium is lesser than it. All right, so let's move on. So we solve for the chain. The chain, yes, it's suboptimal. Yeah, we over and now. Oh, because the Nash equilibrium is lesser than the optimal or the collision profits. All right. So H is the game an example of a classic prisoner's dilemma. Explain your answer. So now this is so H. Yes, the treble. Yes, it is. It is a classic prisoner dilemma because given that the solution to the game is suboptimal, It affirms that the two players of the game made their decisions simultaneously. Hence, game is an example of a prisoner's dilemma. Hope you get it. Since they are making their moves simultaneously, then it's a prisoner's dilemma. Or dilemma or something. All right, so I is saying that what strategy do you think each firm will adopt if collusion was possible? Right. We've spoken about this already. If collusion was possible, firm will choose not to advertise since this is the optimal solution and gives the highest payoff. So they will be choosing 2 million each. Please write the English I said or keep the English I said in mind. And then it says each. Right. So the English is that if pollution is possible, firm will choose not to advertise since that is the optimal solution and gives them the highest pay of 50 million each. Right. So that is it for question 4. Question 5, I won't touch it. It's the same thing. It's the same application. So you can see A represents information. The same represents information. B, that either firm have the dominant strategy. The same thing is also here. Dominated, the same thing. Solution, the same thing. Is the game not the same thing? Is the solution the same thing, the same thing, the same thing? So you just have to just apply, please, so that you move on fast. So question 6. This is where some kind problems more comes inside. This is where you have to pay attention. The first one there is so easy, very cheap. Here, no, technicalities can create so just pay attention. You have to pay technicalities, no, has to more on and technicalities, no. Let's see, I've used 1 hour and some minutes on the first part. Let me say if I can use 1 hour to on this one. Kindly like, subscribe to this channel. Please. All right. So the reason is because I want to start posting my forex stuff here, and I want it to trend so that I can get some investors to invest. That's why. Sorry, my bad. All right. So question 6. Here is the price strategies. Here, so the first part is game theory. Here focuses on the pricing strategies. Right. So you are a manager of a monopoly. A typical consumer inverse demand function for your firm's product is P equal to 250 minus 4Q, and your cost function is 10Q. A, determine the profit maximizing quantity and price under monopoly pricing. Remember, I told you, like the way the marketing students have 4 P's, right? Like here they have 4 P's throughout. They've been doing 4 P's since level 100 up to level 400. 4 P's. Here too, in market structure, it is MC is equal to MR throughout, right? So question 6, jumping to question 6, question 5, I said try it on your own. So now we know that profit maximizing level, right? MC or MR is equal to MC. Same thing here, right? Now they've given us P and then total cost. So we are going to do what? We are going to bring them down. So now, question 6. So P was 250 minus 4Q, and then total cost was 10Q, right? So now, before we can get marginal revenue, we have to solve for total revenue before we differentiate and then get but we can get marginal cost. The marginal cost here is equal to the CQ differentiating with respect to Q, which is going to give us 10. This is because 1 at the top, or Q is raised to the power 1. That one will come and multiply 10. Then now we'll subtract 1 from the power, like this. Then it will left with Q raised to the power 0. and it will be equal to 1. So 1 times 10 is giving us 10. That's why we are getting the 10 here as the MC, right? So fast. Because exams last year's people, their questions were just 2 hours, plenty questions. So we have to do it fast. So that's it for this thing. So here for total revenue. Total revenue, we know is equal to P times Q, right? All right, so P times Q. So mean that we are going to multiply everything here by Q and then get total revenue. Total revenue now is going to be 250 Q minus 4Q times Q is going to give us 4Q squared. Squared. So, hey, where is the Q? All right, so 250 Q. All right. So now, if we want to differentiate, this is TR. So let's differentiate TR with respect to Q. So MR is equal to D CR with respect to the Q, which is going to give us, if we are differentiating this one, like 250 first, 250 Q first, we are going to get 250. Because Q raised to the power 1 will multiply 1 at the top will multiply 250, and then 1 will subtract from the Q, and then now you get Q raised to the power 0 then. So now, if we are also differentiating this part, then, okay, let me bring your minus. Then 2 is going to multiply the 4. So 2 times 4, then the bracket here, this Q will now turn to 2 minus 1 because that's how it is done. So we are going to get 8, 2, so now we are going to get Q, the 8 Q. All right. So that is going to be our MR. So now, at the profit maximizing level, as we said, MC is what? Equal to MR, or P. MC, or MR is equal to MC, still the same. IIF revenue difference. So MR, as we solved, was 250 minus 8Q equal to 10. It is the MC. 250 minus 10 is equal to 8Q. We are going to get 240 is equal to 8Q. Now, divide both sides by 8 to get Q. It says 8. Then Q is going to be 30. 8 to 24. It's a 30. Now we've gotten Q to be 30. Let's put Q to be 30 into the equation and then get P. So remember, P is equal to 250 minus 4Q. Now 250 minus 4 into bracket 30. And then 250 minus 120. So P is equal to 130. All right. So that is, so the profit maximizing quantity and price. What did they say? Profit maximizing quantity, maximizing quantity and price is equal to Q, and P is equal to 30 units and 130 cedis, Ghana cedis, respectively. Don't write it like new, respectively. I'm writing it here. If exams come out, you see how I'll be writing it legibly. So that's it for I. Then we solved this similar question on our previous session. I'm just trying to repeat it so that we get a fresh mind. So now determine the two-part pricing strategy. The two-part pricing strategy, right? We solved it in the previous session, but let me do it again. Right. So what we are going to do now is we are going to find our per unit charge, right? So finding our per unit charge and then finding our everything. So now B. So it is advisable that if we want to find our what is it? Oh, all right. So first, let's do this and then let's graph our distance. So remember P. Let's graph the demand curve. Let's graph the demand curve. Demand curve. Let's graph it. So remember that P was equal to 250. Yes, 250 minus 4. Okay, right. So now we are going to graph. So we are going to check when Q is 0, P is what, and when P is 0, Q is what, and we are going to do it to graph, right? So now when P is 0, then it means that we are going to divide both sides. We are going to divide 150 by 4. And then our Q, to get Q, our Q is going to be equal to 62.5. We did this in demand when we were graphing our demand. The same formula that we are using here. I don't want to spend more time here, that's why. And when Q is 0, right, remember substitute Q here, and P is equal to 250. So this basically means that the highest price this firm can charge is 250. Sometimes they can ask you, according to this, what is the highest price the firm can charge? That is the 250. What is the highest quantity the firm can produce? That is the 62.5. That is the highest quantity they can produce, right? So now let's up our decision. Yeah, E, Q, right? And then let's see the quantity is here. Quantity is 2.5, and then price is 250. So we get something here. There's something. So you also get something. All right. So we match it. It becomes our demand. I think one again. Laptop must start to be very steady. Very steady. It becomes our demand curve, DT. All right. Remember, our MC is 10, right? So let's assume here, if we are to mark our MC, we'll be getting 10, 0, right? So we'll be getting something. All right. So our aim now is to find here. We did it in the previous videos. Our aim is to find here this quantity because we know the price already to be 10. Our aim is to find here, right? So if we want to find here, what we are going to do is we are going to equate price because we use price to form the demand. So we are going to equate price to MC, price, and then solve for it. So when doing that, what we are going to do is price was 250 minus 4Q, right? And then MC is what? 10. So simple and easy and straightforward. So 250 minus 10 is equal to 4Q when grouping like terms. So now 240 is equal to 4Q. You see, marketing first it was 4P's. In economics is 4Q. All right, so divided by 4, by 4. So we are going to get Q is equal to 60. So here is 60. All right. So now remember in our previous video, we said that for the two pricing this thing, our profit, let me see what the question. Then the two optimum. Our price is going to be the consumer surplus, which is here. So we made mention that the two pricing is normally as pricing strategy that is used by firms that charges, for example, gate fee, right? So now what they are going to do now is here is 10, and then here is from 10 up to 250 is like to 240. Yeah. So what the firm is going to do is that let's say a Bree Gardens or the like, they are going to charge you $10 for gate fee, and that $10 is going to be what their cost, right? And now when you enter inside and then you buy any other thing or any other activity, you perform any other activity, then this thing is going to be what 240. That is going to be their price. So they just charge you the gate fee as like their cost. You are paying for their cost, and then the rest is your own cup of tea. So whether you get in, once you get inside, whether you buy something or you don't buy anything, you pay for their cost already. So that is what it means at the two parts pricing, right? So now their price is going to be this one, the consumer surplus, the area of this thing, right? Which is going to be half times the base times the height, which is equal to the base here is 60, right? From here to here is 60, and the height here is what, from 10 up to 250. So the difference is 240. So what we are going to get is 1/2 times 60 times 240, and we are going to get we're going to get 7,200. All right, so that's going to be 7,200. That's so the two parts pricing, two parts pricing is going to be 7,200, and then so meaning that they will charge you an initial fee of let me see something here. 7,200 divided by 60. All right. So meaning that initially they will charge you a fee of 10 cedi for gate fee, and they are going to charge you 120 per anything that you buy, because here is 60 units. That's why we had this, right? So if you divide the 7,200 by the 60 units, you are going to get 120 per each unit, right? So now the two-part pricing is going to be 7,200. That's it. But if two-part pricing per unit, we are going to divide this by the unit, which is the 60, right? All right. So now the D is asking us to, okay, no, the C. C. Suppose you want to use block pricing strategy. How many units should you put in a block? What price would you charge? So here for block price, you won't pay any gate fee, but anything you buy inside, everything has been attached. Like they will add the cost and everything that they will be doing to it. So on the same distance, right? That we had this. So this time around, for block pricing, you are going to include all the two, right? It's going to be area of this rectangle and the area of this triangle plus the area of this rectangle, right? So now what we are going to do now is for block pricing, it's equal to consumer surplus plus the cost, the total cost, right? So remember in our previous edition, we saw for consumer surplus, which was half base and height, and we had two, we had 7,200 plus. Now the total cost here, remember the total cost equation was 10Q. The cost equation was 10Q. Right, so 10 times 60, because the quantity is 60. 7,200 plus, here we are going to get 600. And then in all, we are going to get 7,800. So the block pricing, is going to be 7,800 Ghana cedi. That's going to be the block pricing. Now, let's check for the G. D. Compare your profits from part A, B, and C. All right. So now, let's compare the full part to D. For part A, what we did was, we can scroll back and then check. So what we did was, we had 130 for price, right? and then the quantity was 30. That's the TR. Remember, profit, just doing this faster. Remember, profit is equal to TR minus TC. Check, is today Monday? Right. So this was the profit, and then the total cost is going to be 10Q. So 10 times 30, right? So this will give us 3,900 minus 300. So our profit is going to be 3,600. That's going to be our profit. So that's under A. Then B, because people will pay for the gate fee already as the cost, right? The cost, they are going to pay the gate fee as the cost. Blah, blah, blah. So now the profit is going to be the price of the product that you be buying there. So for this thing, two-part pricing, right? Two-part pricing. So B, for the B, profit is equal to the consumer surplus, right? Which we had the 7,200. Now for the C part, it's still the same because now the total this thing was 7,800. The total cost will still be 600, and then we'll be getting 7,200. The reason why it is 600 is because it is 10 times 60. That's what we saw for Q. 10 times 60 for the other ones, but for the first one it was 10 times 30 because the first one the quantity was 30. That's why. So it is still 7,200. So rich price, and as a rich pricing strategy will be picked. You're going to take either block pricing or two-part pricing. This is because they give us for the highest profit. This is giving us 7,200. This is also giving us 7,200. But the first one is giving us what 3,600. You can see that the block pricing is what the block pricing, and then the two-part pricing is the biggest. So that's what we select. All right, so we are done with question 6. Let's move to question 7. All right, so question 7. So back question there. Question 7. You are the manager of a firm that produces product X and product Y. Information from historical sales shows that based on evaluation of the two products, there are 3 types of consumers, even though you are unable to identify these consumers individually at a time of sale in particular. Okay, sorry, of sale. In particular, you know there are 3 types of consumers, namely 2,000 of each, right? So each consumer type has what 2,000 people in there. So let's say following valuations for the two products, products X and products Y. So here it is trying to say that product X is for television, and then product Y is for antenna, right? Let me see. Okay, no, product X is antenna, then product Y is television. All right. So suppose it costs 50 to produce each television set, and it costs 30 to produce each antenna. Now the firm is marketing. The firm's marketing strategy are this. Strategy one: they charge 40 for antennas and 60 for television. We saw similar thing like this in our TMT, the pricing strategy video. So strategy two is also saying that 90 for antennas and then 160 for television sets. And then strategy three is also saying 150 for the band, which is the two of them. Strategy four is saying that 210 for a bundle containing one antenna and one television set, but also sell the product individually at a price of 90 for an antenna and 160 for a television set. Now, they are telling us to compute the total revenue, total cost, and total profit under each strategy. And then which strategy will you choose and why? Right. So now let's do this fast. So represent product X. Product X is what? It's antenna. So that it's one confusing. So that's Y is television. Right. So now the cost of producing television is 50 per unit, right? Per one of them. The cost of producing antenna is 30 per unit. Now let's solve for their total under the strategy one. So strategy one, ST1. Strategy one was saying that it will sell 40 CDs, antenna for 40 CDs. In my next this I'll be replacing antenna with X. Antenna for 40 CDs, and then television 60 CDs. All right. So now, if you want to calculate the revenue, right? Let's check on the table here. If they are to sell antenna for 40 CDs, consumer type one can buy because they are willing to buy at 90. Consumer type 2 can buy because they are willing to buy at 70. And consumer type 3 can also buy because they are willing to buy at 40. So now this is going to be 40 times 6,000. Since it is 3 groups and each group has 2,000 people in it, plus let's check for the television 2. Television 2 is selling for 60. Type 1 can buy because type 1 is willing to pay 60. Type 2 can also buy because type 2 is willing to even pay 140. Type 3 can buy because type 3 is willing to pay 160 for TV. So all of them are going to buy plus its bracket. 60 times 6,000 because all the groups. And we are going to get 600,000. Right. Our total cost for this is going to be This is our revenue. Our total cost for this is going to be 50 times 600, which is the 6,000, which is the TV plus antenna. The cost is 30 times 6,000, which is going to give us a total cost of 480,000. All right, so now our profit is going to be TR minus TC. It's going to be 600,000 minus 480, 480,000, which is going to give us 120,000 and the profit. So that's the strategy one. This is the profit they are going to make for strategy one. Now let's go to strategy two. Strategy two, right? Where strategy two, where is it? Strategy two, where 60 for antenna, 160 for television. So 60 for X, and then 160 Y, which is for TV. All right, so looking at here, hey, it's 90 for X, sorry. $90 for X, then 160 for Y. So looking at here, what's happening here? Right? If they offer to sell antennas for 90, products cost consumer type 2 cannot buy, consumer type 3 cannot buy. It's only consumer type 1 that can buy. Right? So consumer type 1 is the only people who can buy here. When they are selling TV for 160, it's only consumer type 3 that can buy. So now we are going to pick consumer type 1 and consumer type 3 for TV and antennas respectively. So now our total revenue for this one is going to be 90 times 2,000. Since it's only one type that is going to buy, and each type has 2,000 between it, plus the TV2, it was 160 times 2,000. Right, 160 times 2,000. Then we are going to get 500,000. Right, and then our total cost is going to be antenna is, and this thing is 30 times 2,000 antenna plus 20 times 2,000 for if it's so it's getting high. So we are going to get 160,000. Right, so profit is going to be TR minus TC. Profit 500,000 minus 160,000. it is going to give us 340,000. Right. Come in. Just go ahead. All right. So now we are done with strategy 2. Now let's talk about strategy 3. Strategy 3. Wow, a lot of work. And 4 strategies. No, for why? What strategy 2 was the last one? It's still the same distance strategy 3, where 150 bundle. So 150. 150 bundle means that both of them are together. Right. So when we check here, if we add consumer type 1 is going to be 90 plus 60, giving us 150. So consumer type 1 can buy. Let's check for them. Consumer type 1, 90 plus 60. 60 plus 150. Then type 2 is going to be 70 plus 140, giving us 210. Now type 3 is going to give us 40 plus 200, giving us 40 plus 160, giving us 200. So we can see that if the bundle is 50, 150, this can buy, and this can buy. So in all, we are going to have a purchase of 150 times 6,000 total revenue. And we are going to get 900,000. And total cost is going to be, when we add the 2, the 50, and then the 30, we are going to get 80 times 6,000. We are going to get 480. And then our profit is going to be 900,000 minus 480,000. Which is going to be 420. For that particular strategy. Now let's go to the 4th strategy. So strategy 4. The firm is charging 220, 210 for a bundle. And when you decide to also buy one each, then we charge 90 for antenna, and then charge 160 for TV. Right, say NOPEC. You are going to write NOPEC. If you are registering for all the courses, the price is low. But if you are going to register one or two, you see that the price is high. So now let's check for the 210 bundle this thing. If you check, product one cannot buy when it is 210. So even let's use this sample. So far for 210, only type 2 can buy here. Only type 2 can buy for 210. So now let's check for the 210 bundle. Revenue for 210. AR for 210 is equal to the distance is 210, and it's only one type that is going to buy. So it is going to be 2,000. Right? And we are going to get 420,000. All right. So TR for the different prices. Let me do it other TR. Right. It's going to be which of them can afford antenna at 90. Let's check. So for only product type 1, only consumer type 1 can afford at 90. And then only consumer type 3 can afford TV at 160. Right. So it is going to be 90 times 200, 2,000, sorry, plus 160 times 2,000. Right, so in all, we are going to get 500,000. So if we solve for the cost, the total cost, so let's add these two profits. We are going to get 920, this revenue, sorry, 920,000. Right, so now let's check for the TC. Total cost is going to be 80 times 4,000. Because the total quantity to be produced is going to be 4,000. 2,000 for each year, and then 2,000 for another each year. So it's the same, right? I've combined it, that's why you're seeing it. So it's going to be this way. Then total cost is going to be 32,000. So now our profit is going to be 920,000 minus 13, so 320,000, and we are going to get 600,000, right? All right. So That's it for this one for the first strategy. Right. Now we are saying that which strategy will you choose and why? All right, so checking inside, let's check, let's compare the profit. This strategy 4 has a profit of 600,000. Strategy 3 has a profit of 420,000. Strategy 2 has a profit of 340,000. Strategy 1 has a profit of 120,000. Which one will you choose? We are going to choose strategy 4 because that gives us for the highest profit. So since they ask which one will you choose, we are choosing strategy 4 because that gives us what the highest profit. All right. All right. So now let's look at question 8. Question 8. All right. So question 8 is asking us a car dealership offers power steering and compact disc stereo system as options in all new models. Suppose that the dealership sells Suppose that the dealership sells to members of 3 different groups of a new car buyers, and that there are 5 individuals in each group. The table below shows how the members of each group value power steering and a compact disc stereo sound. So suppose that the unit of providing power steering system is 12,000, 8,200 and 250 respectively. So you see they are saying that there are 5 individuals in each group, right? So this how they value it, right? So they're asking us if the dealership sold each option separately, how much profit will it earn for each group member? Remember, they are saying 5 in each group, but they're asking us question of each group member. So we are not going to multiply anything by 5. Take note. So now, uh, cost of power steering. Power steering is 1,200, right? And the cost of stereo system is 250, right? And each group has 5 individuals. All right. So they're asking us the profit from each group, right? So group 1. So in group 1, they value power steering. Let me use PS as power steering, and then S S S as steering system, right? So they value power steering PS to be 1750, and then SS steering distance to be 3,800. So the total revenue we will get from them is this 2050. That's the total revenue you are going to get from them. Now, total cost is also going to be 1,200 and 250 respectively. We are going to get 1,450. So in all, profit is going to be 2,050 minus 145. So rate is going to be 600, right? 100. Yes, 600. Right, so that's a good point. So we move to group 2. Group 2, they value PS as PS to be 16, and then CDS 1920 will be. Remember, our total cost is fixed throughout, so profit is going to be 1920 minus the cost is 1450, and we are going to get 470. Then group 3. Remember, this tutorial set we use almost like whole week to do it at lectures. So if I'm using a long duration here, it's not my fault, okay? All right, so now group 3 is valuing the thing as ES is 1500, and then CD is 346, and we are getting to the 1840. Our total cost is the same thing, so profit is equal to 1840 minus 1450, which is going to give us 390. All right, so that's for each group member in group 3. So that is it for A. Let's go to B. Uh-oh. Right, so for B is asking us, if dealership cannot easily identify the members of it, how should it price a package consisting of power steering and CD stereo system? So, according to our TA, he said that if the dealership is not able to identify each group member, then the dealer should charge the lowest price of each of the categories. So the lowest price for power steering is 1,500, and the lowest price for CD stereo is what 300. So that is what the difference is going to charge. So why the dealership should price a package consisting of power steering and CD stereo at the lowest price. So now it is going to be 1,500 plus 300. It is going to be 1,800. So meaning that uh, the package price is going to be one eight zero cities, 1,800 cities. Now they're asking us what will be the dealership profit. See the dealership profit. Dealership profit is going to be 1,800, which will be the total revenue for them. And the total cost that we know already that it is 1,450. Don't skip the video and come here and then get follow the steps. Then you are going to get 350 Ghana cedi. That's the profit. Right. So this calls for the end of this session. It is too long, but anything. All right. So we've been able to solve all this. We used 4 weeks lectures to solve this, and I've been able to solve this here. And also, what I'm doing here is a bit different from what the TA said because that's how I am. I have to try my possible best to understand in a possible way that I myself will find it very easy. So all what I've projected there are the easiest way for you to understand. All right, so please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. See you on the next video. Bye. Sign out. Bye. Bye.